Overview. Module 3 delves deeply into the critical process of defining, articulating, and utilizing learning objectives as the cornerstone of effective lesson planning and instructional design. This module presents an advanced treatment of how precise, measurable, and learner-centered objectives guide the entire instructional process from content selection and instructional strategies to assessment and evaluation, ensuring that all components are systematically aligned to foster meaningful learning and demonstrable outcomes. You will explore the theoretical bases for outcome-based education, the taxonomy of learning domains, and contemporary frameworks that facilitate crafting robust objectives tailored to varied use and contexts. The module emphasizes the transition from vague goals to SMART objectives and highlights the vital role objectives play in enhancing learner motivation, engagement, and self-regulation. By mastering the formulation and application of learning objectives, educators and instructional designers will be equipped to create coherent, transparent, and accountable lesson plans that meet diverse educational mandates and promote lifelong learning competencies. Detailed content. 3.1 Introduction to Learning Objectives. Distinction between goals, aims, and objectives in education. The importance of clear, concise, and measurable learning objectives. How objectives shape lesson content, instructional methods, and assessments. Relationship between learning objectives and curriculum standards. 3.2 Outcome-Based Education, OBE. Framework. Definition and philosophy of OBE. Focus on what learners are expected to achieve post-instruction historical evolution and global adoption of OBE in various education systems. Shifting from content coverage to demonstrable competencies and skills. Critiques and challenges of implementing OBE. 3.3 Taxonomies of learning domains. Cognitive domain. Knowledge and intellectual skills. Bloom's Taxonomy original and revised versions. Affective domain. Attitudes, values, motivation, Krathwohl's taxonomy, psychomotor. Domain, physical skills and coordination, Simpson's, Dave's, and Harrow's models. Integrating multiple domains for holistic learning objectives. 3.4 Writing effective learning objectives. Characteristics of well-written objectives, specificity, clarity, attainability, relevance, and time-bound, SMART criteria. Using action verbs aligned with taxonomy levels to define observable and measurable behaviors. Examples of poorly written versus well-written objectives. Avoiding vague verbs such as understand or learn without measurable criteria. 3.5 Aligning objectives with instruction and assessment. Backward design principles in linking objectives, teaching activities, and assessments, ensuring alignment across cognitive, affective, and psychomotor outcomes. Designing formative and summative assessments that validly measure objectives, utilizing rubrics, checklists, and performance tasks for objective-based assessment. 3.6 Differentiating objectives for diverse learners. Adapting objectives for varied proficiency levels, learning styles, and special needs. Incorporating scaffolding and tiered objectives. Cultural and linguistic responsiveness in objective setting. Balancing ambitious goals with realistic learner capabilities. 3.7 Integrating higher-order thinking skills, HOTS. Moving beyond recall to analysis, evaluation, and creation in Bloom's revised taxonomy. Designing objectives that promote critical thinking, problem-solving, and creativity. Encouraging metacognition and self-assessment through objective-driven instruction. 3.8 Practical strategies for objective-based lesson planning. Step-by-step guide to drafting lesson plans anchored on clear objectives. Sequencing objectives for lesson coherence and cognitive progression. Using objectives to manage time allocation and learner pacing. Incorporating objectives into lesson introductions and learner goal setting. 3.9 Challenges and solutions in objective setting. Common pitfalls. Overly broad or narrow objectives, lack of measurability, misalignment. strategies for overcoming ambiguous or unrealistic objectives, continuous revision and peer review of objectives for quality assurance. Summary. Module 3 is essential for educators and instructional designers who seek to master the art and science of crafting purposeful learning objectives that serve as the navigational compass of instructional design. Through rigorous understanding and application, you will be able to construct lesson plans that are transparent, accountable, and deeply learner-centered, ultimately enhancing teaching effectiveness and your success.